So head lettuce is one of those crops that you want to harvest first thing in the morning. It's important to get it when it's cool outside. And another thing to keep in mind is that you'll be working, usually the person that's cutting is going by themselves, going along the bed, cutting the beds that are the right size, and then flipping them over. And the next person behind is actually doing the cleanup and putting them in a bin. So the first person is usually trying to keep count of how many they're harvesting, because it's very easy to harvest too many heads of lettuce. And so that person's usually just focused on cutting and counting. The other thing to think about is to make sure you're not cutting too high. If you cut too high, you're going to lose a lot of your leaves off those heads. And the third thing to keep in mind would be that all cleanup gets done in the field. So you should leave any junk leaves in the field, and then only the perfect heads of lettuce go into the bins that are going to the washing station. So the person with the knife is going to be going along and just checking heads for size, and most of these heads here are beautiful, full-sized. This head right here, obviously, I'd probably leave. It really depends on if you're going to more of a wholesale, you're going to want a very consistent size. Farmer's market may be a little bit more leeway because some people might want a slightly smaller head. But normally you're just going to go along, try to be exactly the same size. Usually we grab the head like this and then slide our knife at a really flat angle right there. So you see how we left some of those bottom junky leaves, but there's also a few leaves to clean as well. So then we'll just keep going down, looking right there, trying to slide it right at the base. And you can kind of use your knife to help flip it as well. So cut that under and then usually just pick it up like that. And then just keep working along. One of the important things when you are planting head lettuce is to make sure there's no doubles so that you don't have, two tiny heads instead of one big head. All right, so let's go back and let's go ahead and clean these guys up. So you can see here, all you're going to be taking off is a few of these bottom leaves. We may leave, so these leaves aren't perfect, but you may leave one or two because when you're going to packing them in the wash station or you're putting them going to a restaurant or something, a few more leaves are going to fall off during that time. And so you just want to make sure that there is one or two packing leaves on the head. But we'll go along here. We'll take off these leaves here. Those are pretty junky. And you can just, if you just leave them there, be careful. You do not want these leaves that land up on a head that you're not harvesting. So either they'll drop in the path or drop right beside the head there. But you can see here there's some rot, so we'll just get that off. And then just keep it working our way along. That. And then on this head, like right there, see how there's a little bit of stem left? So the second person going along picking these up may want to do another trim right there before it goes into the bin. So if you're harvesting by yourself, the goal would be first go through, cut all your heads, get your count as right, and then come back through and pick them all up at once. So you don't have to be, if you're going through an area and trying to get the 40 largest heads, you're not carrying your bin all over the patch, going back and forth trying to find those largest heads. So I'll go through, cut the heads, then come back, clean them up, and put them in a bin. If it's a two-person crew, and that's how we'd recommend lettuce be harvested, it would be more one person just going through and cutting, another person coming behind them and cleaning them up, putting them in a bin, and carrying them to the end of the field. So for picking up head lettuce, we're going to go here after we've cleaned them up, clean a couple up, we'll grab 3 at a time, and then kind of just place them right in the bin like that, and set them there. And so then you'd go ahead, grab your next 3 if you had them, kind of grab 3 at a time, and then I like to roll them in. So if you can see how I'm kind of rolling them in so I don't crush the leaves. If I was going straight down, you'd break off leaves. But if you kind of roll them in, they fit in a lot easier.